report. Can you hear me?
Hello.
I can hear you very well.
Eric. I'm not hearing him.
So, Mr. Declan, can you hear me? All right, we will have to still, I don't know what's going on. It seems we are experiencing some poor network. I can hear you, Mr. Declan, if you can hear me. Sorry, okay. Now let's find the stories that we are hearing and the reports coming out from Imo State. Not just Imo alone. It happened in Ebonyi, the attack in Ebonyi. I think that was last week. And also Abia State earlier on. We have seen this coming as if something is not right. People are already denying. The IPOB said they are not the one. The Nigerian police said it was done by members of IPOB and the Northern Security outfit. But they have come out to say, we didn't do it. So now, what is happening? Who is responsible first, before we begin to look at the effect of what is happening at this moment?
Ijoma, look, I don't know who is responsible for that act. I don't think we can actually, for certainty and authoritatively, say that this is who is responsible. To me, finding out who is responsible is important. It's important in the sense that people have to be held to account for their actions, because at the end of the day, it's the people of Imo and the people of Southeast that are going to suffer, and the people of Imo eventually may have to pay for some of the things that are damaged. Now, but of equal importance and even more important to me is for us to figure out how is it that this kind of thing was hatched, planned, executed in Imo State without anybody knowing, without anybody preempting and preventing this thing from occurring. Is it that there was no intelligence, there was a total intelligence failure? If there was intelligence, because I'm reading an account today that said there was 48 to 72 hours of intelligence that was given to the Nigerian police, which was direct and specific, that talked about the fortification of the correctional facility, and even talked about the police, Imo State Police Command Headquarters. If you had that specific and direct intelligence, why is it that nobody took action? How come police didn't take action? And how come those who provided that intelligence did not raise the alert level in Imo State in particular, so that way the security posture of the state could have been boosted? So these are to me, these are more important than figuring out who did carry out this attack for now. Because if we can find out why this thing happened, find out who is responsible for that attack will be very easy. It will not be a situation where, because there will be evidence, it will no longer be a situation where the former Inspector General of Police will say it's IPOB or Eastern Security Network that carried out that attack, and they'll come out and say, look, we didn't do it. Because you're going to have irrefutable evidence that they were responsible. There will be forensic signatures. There will be different kind of evidence that will point to the direction of IPOB or Eastern Security Network that they cannot deny. So for me, we should be focused more, and I'm happy that the governor said he has constituted a panel of inquiry to investigate what really happened. I think we should allow that panel to conduct a comprehensive, elaborate investigation to figure out how is it that this kind of thing, this kind of action was able to be carried out in the center of Owerri, the state capital.
Now, there's two school of thought in this whole incident that is happening. Some are saying it's the aftermath of what may have happened after the Olu crisis. There are those who feel that this thing happening is to unsettle the Southeast, so that I don't know why they are feeling that way. They just felt that it is happening because they want the Southeast to also report the cases of insecurity. So let's look at these two situations now. What do you think?
Well, I don't live in the world of speculation. I like to present the facts. I don't know the motive of the individuals that were involved. I think by the time investigation is all carried out and those who are involved are unraveled, we'll be able to find out the reasons for carrying out that attack. Look, sure, there's impunity in the country, and some of us, we have been talking about this for a while. The Southeast used to, pride itself as being the safest region in this country. But within the last 48 hours, that has been thrown out of the window. And this is very important, particularly for Imo State. Owerri is a tourist capital of the Southeast. Most of the revenue comes from, tourists. And when you have this sense of insecurity in the state capital, it makes it very difficult for people to come and visit. And that will negatively affect the economic posture of this state. So that is why I am not going to speculate on the reasons why the attack was carried out. I would rather defer to a thorough independent investigation that will look into what happened. Why did we not find out about this thing? And if we did know that it was going to happen, why did we not take action to prevent it from happening? And why is it that people who has been vested with the responsibility of protecting lives and property didn't take action? And why is it that there is no serious consequences? Because I don't believe that if you are in such a position where the lives and property of so many people are in your hands, that redeployment is sufficient enough. People should be held accountable. There should be demotions, there should be sacks. Exactly.
Well, let's quickly go straight to Imo State, where we have the Commissioner for Information, Declan Emelumba, join us. Thank you very much, Mr. Emelumba, for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, we would like to find out from you the developments. It happened this morning. We saw one of people living in the community where it all happened explained what happened this morning, how some thugs made their way into the police station again in one of the communities in Imo State and burned down some things, destroyed some of the office property there. So what is your state doing about this, and how far has the government gone in trying to investigate what is going on in the state?
Well, thank you very much. First of all, I want to say that the state is taking every necessary action to make sure that all those behind this bastardly and cowardly act are brought to book. The governor of the state, His Excellency, the Distinguished Senator, has already ordered commissioned a full-scale investigation into the incidents, and we are very hopeful that the investigation will produce results expeditiously, and that sooner than later the culprits will be brought to book. So the state is taking all the necessary measures, not only to bring the perpetrators to book, but also to ensure that these things don't happen again. Security is beefed up in the state now, and the situation is calm right now, and every necessary thing, every necessary step that should be taken is taken to ensure that we don't have a repeat performance of such action.
Now, the pictures and videos that are coming from some of these police stations and correctional centers in your state are very horrible. They are not pictures and videos that one would say should be kept under the carpet. At this moment, I'm sure that you have been to some of the communities and you saw what happened. How can you describe what happened in these police stations?
Well, you already said it, that the pictures are horrifying. So what other way can you describe it except to say that they are very, very heinous actions, and they are at the same time, like I said, they are dastardly actions that should be condemned by every right-thinking person in the society. The unfortunate thing is that when you look at it, you ask yourself, what could have motivated this kind of action? Because the people who are behind this, if you examine their actions very well, you find that it also has some political undertones, and the government is, like I said, doing everything to make sure that these things don't happen again. The situation is not something to be happy about. Nobody should celebrate this kind of thing. It's a very horrifying scene, really. And I don't think that those who are behind it mean well. The Vice President said, these are hoodlums, and that we shouldn't succumb to the intimidation or attempt to intimidate the rest of the same society.
You know what? There's a statement you just made. The governor said it has a kind of political undertone. He's talking like a politician. But looking at governance and that statement you just made, do you think that there are those who feel they want the state to be ungovernable for the government? And if that is your thoughts, what about other states in the southeast?
Well, the point is that we are talking about Imo State. And the actions that have occurred recently, and we have every reason to believe that they are politically motivated, because we have a situation where some people, a former governor, for instance, have been so desperate enough to want to evade justice at all costs over the findings of some judicial commissions of inquiry, and he tried to use the cost. The team failed. He tried to use the governor, and the governor said no. And he also tried to use violence, and that failed. And it's interesting that we just on the very day that this thing happened, he organized some group of people in faraway Ghana to organize a press conference. Instead of condemning the actions of these hoodlums, he was interested in calling on the federal government to declare a state of emergency in Imo State, claiming that the governor was sitting watching and Northerners were being killed, and so on and so forth. So you ask yourself, what's the coincidence? Why is it that just a few hours after this kind of horrendous action took place in Imo State, a former governor who ought to be responsible enough, at least condemn the act, seems to be celebrating it. So and we also have information that some of these people could have been sponsored from a neighboring local government where this former governor's head had been quartering some criminals who the governor pardon granted amnesty, criminals granted amnesty. So the point is that we have every reason to believe that this is politically motivated, because somebody who is desperate to escape justice can go to any length, because it is in his interest if there is anarchy, so that he can continue to hold to his looks and so on. So there is, and I want to believe that the security agencies will look at all aspects of suspicion in terms of those who could have been behind this act, and make sure that no stone is left unturned in investigating it, and making sure that all those who are indicted are brought through.
Okay, so what is the government doing about the inmates that have been freed so far? It's not a very good one for inmates to a prison break. It has its negative effect on the state.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, it's not funny rather that the whole made of this was releasing inmates, and we also have information that some of these inmates were carried in a truck that headed towards a particular local government, where the suspicion is also that those who sponsored the thing came from. So you ask yourself, what is the purpose? What is the essence? Going to take laws into your hands and endanger the larger society. And some people seem to be celebrating it rather than condemning it. So it's a worrisome situation. But the good news is that the government of Imo State is on top of the situation in collaboration with the security agencies, and every necessary step that needs to be taken is being taken to ensure that even the inmates who have escaped or who have been aided to escape are fished out, are eventually found and brought back to face the justice they deserve.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Declan Emelumba. I appreciate all that you have said on the program tonight, and hopefully we are waiting for the panel of inquiry that the government set up to look into what happened in Imo State. Hopefully we'll get a result out of that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now you listen to what he said.
Yes.
The most interesting part is the part of may be politically motivated, and some of these inmates that were freed from the correctional centers were moved into a particular local government. That information they got.
Yeah. I'm not a politician. I'm a security analyst.
That's why I'm taking you to the security parts. Because if you look at the situation there now, I asked you a question.
Sure.
There are two schools of thought on this whole issue.
Sure.
Now the government is saying they believe there is politics at play.
Sure.
Now look at the security angle of this.
Sure. You see, the governor has access to a lot of intelligence information that I don't have and you don't have. There's a possibility. It's my home state. I understand the dynamics of the state and the politics of the state presently. So if the governor is, there's you're an Igbo, they said,
Please, you need to, I can't be Igbo.
Okay.
I may understand you. There are those watching also don't understand.
Yes, I will translate. Yes. That's where a child is crying and pointing at, that the father is not there, the mother is not there. Now, for the governor to come out emphatically to say, look, there is a political undertone to what happened in Imo State, I will have to give it to him. I don't have the kind of intelligence information that he has. And considering what has been happening in this state prior to this incident, you cannot completely rule out the fact that the people who carried out this attack, because if you consider the level of sophistication and precision that that attack was carried out, the attack was carried out in a military